Hello everyone, I'm Josh, and before we dive into this topic, let me ask you something. Name one thing in this picture and write it in the comments down below. And if you can't, write WTF in the comments. It's good for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get right into this. Now, if you could not name a single thing in the picture, don't feel bad. It was made that way. It was posted on the 22nd of April 2019 by the user Melopone on Twitter with the caption, "Name one thing in this photo." The photo is meant to simulate your brain during a stroke. Now, you might be thinking why I decided to mention this, and that's because it's a good bridge to our actual topic. On the 22nd of September 2016, an album was released called Everywhere at the End of Time. It was released by James Kirby, who goes by the artist name The Caretaker. His work as The Caretaker has been characterized as exploring memory and the gradual deterioration of it, nostalgia and melancholia. It's incredible how James is able to simulate memory loss with music. In effect, I have listened to the insane 6.5-hour album and have recorded my thoughts every 30-ish minutes. But before we go into that, let me tell you my conclusion for the ones who don't have such a long attention span. Everywhere at the End of Time is an absolute masterpiece, which really submerges emotions you did not even know you were capable of having. The constant feeling of, "I've heard this before," keeps you on edge. Whilst I was listening to it, my guts were twisting and turning, my heartbeat was racing, and I was extremely uncomfortable. But it was a true eye-opener. One thing I'd also like to read before we get into it is a comment by the user Generic Frog. Something to note about Everywhere at the End of Time is that there's never a clear transition from one stage to the next. And it's clear that while some choose to view this project as a holistic 6.5-hour experience, Leyland's intention was for the project to actually last 3 whole years. Of course, not 3 continuous years of music, but as something you return to each time a stage is released. The Caretaker, if you didn't know, was treated like a character and given dementia in 2016 upon the release of the first section. After many months pass, Leyland would add another section, and listeners would return to the project as if you were visiting your fading grandma every now and then, and seeing how far along she is in her decline. For people who can now only take in this project as one huge album, there is essentially nothing between one stage and the next for us to really acknowledge. But for everyone who participated or even lived alongside the Caretaker while the project was in progress, visiting it once, then forgetting about it repeatedly, time passed between each stage, and you would experience the physical effect of those months and months passing, the decay of memories, the destruction of quaint and jiggles and choruses that Leyland panted in your own mind in stage 1. It's great to consider the episodic nature of the project and how that affects the way we hear this record. Though, even as a singular experience, it is still an incredibly haunting one. I'm definitely not trying to dismiss listening to this in one chunk. This is more in response to people who think the album is needlessly long and its length indicating pretentiousness. In reality, these 6 or so hours is short compared to years of decay it is representing. Wow, wow, wow. That's a lot to take in. For everyone with a short attention span, you may leave the video if you haven't already. Don't forget to like, of course. For everyone that would like to hear my experience and my final conclusion, I'm going to play my recordings with on the screen some comments from the album. So sit tight and enjoy. So, this is me, the first 36 minutes into the Caretaker album, and I keep having a feeling that I know this song, but I don't, and I want to hum along, but yeah, I never do know what the song is, and it gives me a calming, nostalgic, but also unsettling feeling. So I'm just gonna continue listening to it for the full 6 hours now, and I'll get to you every 36 or hour into this thing. So yeah, 1 hour into the Caretaker album. It's definitely getting more ominous. Still got that feeling of that I know the song and I want to sing along, but it's getting pretty unsettling. It was a bit unsettling before, but I don't know, I'm just feeling very weird listening to this. But of course I'm going to continue and I'm going to be progressing the further I go, so let's continue listening, I guess. It's 1.5 hours into the Caretaker album. I genuinely feel that my body is getting more upset and terrified. I can feel my heartbeat raise. It is such a weird experience. I thought I heard like the part from the beginning again, but it was so different and so corrupt. I don't know, it's so weird, but it also keeps you hooked and you want to keep listening to it. It really makes you remember how much power music truly has to the human mind. But it's nice to have a little break to talk about these things, because fucking hell, this song just twists your guts, and I don't know, I think I'm gonna get out of this as a different person. Well, let's continue. Alright, so I wanted to listen to the full 6 hours straight up, but I'm currently, listening to it whilst working, and 1 hour and 45 minutes, I just can't do this during work. I can't do this whilst driving. I'm feeling so weird, so I'm just gonna pause it here and continue to it later, but fuck, dude. This is a whole bunch of different shit, dude. It's like an emotional roller coaster, but you don't really have the emotions. I don't know what to say, like, at all. I'm just, it's blank up here, but also going super fast, and it's like I'm on fucking drugs, but I'm just listening to a fucking song. What the hell, dude? So I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes. I did take a little break because I wasn't feeling well. I'm coping a lot better now, but I'm now 2 hours and 20 minutes in, and it isn't music anymore, even though you think you're hearing music, and it's like it's static, like it's so extremely odd, and it's going to be difficult to continue from here, but I want to. I have this urge inside of me that I want to continue listening to it, and it's very, very odd, and yeah, we'll see what happens further on. I'm 3 hours in. A big part of it was just no words for it, but right now we got to a point where it's a bit more relaxed. It's still very corrupt and still very uneasy, but it surely isn't as bad as it was 30 minutes ago. Scared of what is to come. So yeah, let's see what else. At 3 hours and 38 minutes, and to any other person this would just sound like rambling and garbage, but after experiencing every stage till now, I can feel what it means, but I can't really explain it. It's like you understand that it's a song, but to understand what the song is takes a lot of effort. Wow. Never had a song impact me this much. Let's keep going. I'm right now at 4 hours in, and I feel like I've started to accept that what I'm hearing is not really music anymore. Yet I can't stop listening. It feels like I'm stuck inside of a loop. It's interesting, to say the least. I feel happy. I feel anxious. To be fair, I don't really know what I'm feeling, but I've come to accept what it is. Pretty weird. 4.5 hours in, I can't even say this is music anymore. There's parts and I'm like, oh, I remember that, or I try to gasp a part of the music that I think I remember from the start. And the more I try to focus on it, the more it just disappears and it's no longer there. But there's no coherent music anymore. Sometimes it even feels like you're in some sort of trance. It's very weird. 2 hours left. 5 hours and 15 minutes in, and I don't hear anything anymore. It feels like I'm inside of water or something. It's pretty weird. I don't know how to explain any of this. I know the majority of this video has been like that, but then again, yeah, someone with dementia wouldn't know what's going on either. It's very weird. I feel very weird about this all. It makes me very relaxed, but also very unsettled. I'm right now at 6 hours in, and I can't wait for this to end. It's weird. It's so uncomfortable, so creepy yet relaxing, and I know everything I say is just mostly the same, but as I said, I'm documenting this as I go on, so I'm mentioning how I feel, and I'm mentioning what I hear, and yeah, I don't remember a single part of the start at all, even though I think I do. I keep thinking I hear it throughout. The noise, the static, the blackness that is right over it. It's a very weird experience, and I can't quite tell how I feel and how I should feel. Now, the ending of this is a bit anticlimactic. I would love to tell you how the finale was amazing, like everyone has been saying in the comments, but I actually fell asleep and I missed it. I did re-listen to it after, but I never really experienced it as I would have if I were not to fall asleep. But with that said, this was an experience. I've been sitting on this video for a very long time because it's been busy, but holy crap, this is something else. Like, massive props to the caretaker. Like, this is absolutely mental. I love every single thing about it, but it's absolutely terrifying. Never watching this again. But yeah, I highly recommend you to listen to this if you somehow have the time, which you do because of the coronavirus. Video about that soon. I hope you've all enjoyed, and don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget, goodbye.